Samuel Oyedika, Tere Murphy, Paul Onuachu, Ahmed Musa, Samuel Chukwueze, Kelechi Iheanacho. And for South Africa, they also line up in a 4-3-3 formation. Rowan Williams in goal, Kuliso Mudau, Grant Kekana, Motibo Mvala, Obri Modiba in the defense, Tebo Mokwena, Sianda Zulu, Sefosholo Sitole in the midfield, Temba Zwane, Evidence Makopa, Pesitao in attack. On the bench of South Africa, Vali Motwa, Ricardo Gomes, Iyiko Mobi, Terence Mashegu, Nkosinati Sibisi, Tahang Monari, Mihali Mayembela, Osunapolis, Jedin Adams, Tapelo Morena, Zakele Lepasa. My name is Prince Will, and I'm not alone this evening. Also, when we come back from this goal, you will find out those are with me as we take you through this journey of the Super Eagles of Nigeria versus South Africa in this semi-final. If we don't have a winner in 90 minutes, we'll go into 30 minutes of extra time. And if you say you do not have a winner, this encounter will be settled on penalty shootouts. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Dark, same old empty feeling in your heart. Cause love comes slow and it goes so fast. Will you see you when you fall asleep, but never to touch and never to keep? Cause you loved her too much and you dive too deep. Where you only need the light when it's burning low, only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go.
My people, my name is Chief Obi Kubana. It's 6 p.m. and the time is almost here to enjoy the new Showmax app coming soon. Visit showmax.com now.
Here's the waiting for action to kick off. Like I told you, I'm not alone. Also here with me is AGP. Good evening, AGP.
Yeah, good evening to you, Prince Will. It's great to be on the show as well. I mean, the big encounter just seconds away from kickstarting the game between the Nigerian Super Eagles and the Bafana of South Africa, just like you said. I mean, for the Nigerian side, this is the 15th time, the record 15th time they will be playing in the AFCON semi-finals. And of course, 5 of the last 6 semi-finals have ended in defeat for Nigeria. In fact, the only one Nigeria prevailed in was the one that they went on to win in 2013. And of course, against the South African side, this is a rivalry that transverses football. I mean, it cuts across politics, music, and all that. So it's a game that has a huge, high sense of anticipation, especially between football enthusiasts in both countries and across the continent of Africa. So all set for a very, very eventful and great game of football.
Also, Benga is right here. Good evening, Benga.
A pleasant evening to you and yours and everyone listening in. Yes, we are here to enjoy the game. Like my brother said, it's a rivalry that transcends football to the extent that even the tag given to the game isn't a football tag. It's called the Amapiano Derby. Amapiano is music to show that a lot of things tie Nigeria and South Africa. But here, it's about football. It's about Stanley Wabali of Nigeria and Ronan Williams of South Africa. 2 teams that have shown that they can be defensively solid, respectively. And in this style, it's about who takes his or her chances, or let's drag it out in extra time, or let's drag it out in penalty shootout.
1 minute of action and the Super Eagles already making an incursion into the South African 18. But Osimhen was stopped in his track by Grant Kekana. But Osimhen is down in discomfort. Remember on Monday, it was reported he had some abdominal discomfort. He's down right now, and the ball has been cleared out of the pitch for Osimhen to be attended to.
And that's exactly where he's holding on to in pain.
I think it was coming together with the South African defender, because Osimhen was just about to pull the trigger at that instance when the defender actually stopped him right there. It was a tackle to
He got the ball.
Yeah,
There was no contact with
There was no
Osimhen's
contact
leg.
right there. Anyways,
So if he's going down on his own volition, that means it's something different. He's feeling that abdominal pain again.
and I think that also that's what a number of Nigerians were really skeptical about, the fitness issues regarding Victor Osimhen. A lot of people were like, if he's not fit to start the game, maybe he should be brought in, or possibly someone else comes in for him. But well, the coach has decided that he's fit enough. The medics have decided that he's fit enough to start the game, and let's just hope that he can give Nigerians and Nigeria all that they hope for in today's encounter.
Throwing for the Super Eagles from the left. Olaino is playing from the left wing back position today. There's no Zaidu Sanusi.
Absolutely. I actually thought it was going to be Bright Osai Samuel who will be thrown to the left-hand side, but I knew that if both of them are going to start, he's still going to maintain that wing-back formation while Calvin Bassey maintains the left-hand side of this three-man defense. So it's still the same shape, but just different personnel. Finally, Zaidu Sanusi is on the bench.
True second for the Super Eagles. And right now, Bright Osai Samuel in possession. He goes back to Shemi Ajayi.
I think that also speaks about the versatility, especially in terms of the players in the ranks of Jose Pizarro, Super Eagles of Nigeria. All I know, as we've spoken about extensively on this show, is a player who is very good at playing at both flanks, and I think that's a plus to any team. He has shown in this tournament, not just in this tournament as well, but in other games, even for his club side in England, Nottingham Forest, that he can play on both flanks. He's also very good going forward and solid defensively. In fact, he's been one of the players of the tournament for Nigeria, doing a very wonderful work at both flanks. And also providing and popping up good when he's called upon defensively or in attack.
Moses Simon in possession. He goes back to Calvin Bassey. Calvin Bassey to True Second. He has scored a goal against South Africa before. That was in the quarterfinal of the 2019 Nations Cup. He scored the winner for the Super Eagles in that 2-1 victory against South Africa. And right now, Alex Iwobi. He goes to Alaino. I know whips in the cross. Stopped by Kekana. Mudao and the clearance to throw in for the Super Eagles.
And I think both sides have come a long way. In fact, they had contrasting fortunes in their first game in this tournament. South Africa lost 2-0 to Mali, while Nigeria actually drew against Equatorial Guinea drew 1-1 against Equatorial Guinea. And I think since that time, both sides have not looked back. South Africa are undefeated, and they've kept clean sheets in all their games since that time, similar to Nigeria as well. So this is a game, just like Benga said earlier, between two very strong sides defensively. So, but one team has to give in today, because we have to have a winner.
And also, I think more of the challenges we face in the attack is about understanding, communication, and cohesion. Just in the last seconds, we saw a stray cross from Moses Simon to nobody in particular. At least you would see a run into the box before you throw the cross, or before you play it back, or before you go back and look for somebody who can actually receive the ball. These are the kind of things we mention when we criticize the Super Eagles. Not like they are not playing well, not like they've not been defensively solid, but these little details, crossing when you should, when somebody would actually meet the area duel, those are the things that can lead us to getting the opener or actually scoring a goal.
Talking about South Africa's first game at this Nations Cup, they lost 2-0 to Mali. The man in charge tonight, Amin Mohamed Omar from Egypt, was the fourth official in that game. He was also in charge in the opening match of this Nations Cup, where the host, Cote d'Ivoire, defeated Guinea-Bissau 2-0, and he issued 3 yellow cards on that encounter. I was also in charge when Tanzania played out a goalless draw with DR Congo, and he issued out just 1 yellow card. So it's not a referee who issues so many yellow cards. And interestingly, aside being a referee, he's also a lawyer.
And both teams also show that they are also, would I say, disciplined. Nigeria, aside from the last game where Calvin Bassey picked a yellow or something, we really don't have a lot of cautions in this tournament. Same at South Africa. So I think just like you've reeled out the characteristics of the referee, it just shows that this game is is like a match made in heaven.
And I mean, buttressing Lingard's point as well. In fact, the yellow cards that the Nigerians have received in this tournament have been purely down to dissent.
Only, not fouls.
I remember the game against Ivory Coast when Stanley Wabali was given a yellow card for time wasting.
Yeah.
And the game against the game against Angola, I presume Calvin Bassey was given a yellow card for reacting.
The conduct, like they will say.
So I mean, Nigeria have been a team that have been very, very compact, especially in terms of their tackles, in terms of their reactions and all that. And I'm sure that they will be looking to keep that decent, because this is a very, very pivotal stage at this tournament. So you don't want to make mistakes, especially mistakes that would cost you a man on the field.
Well, 6 minutes played so far, and I can tell you, goalkeeper of Nigeria, Stanley Wabali, has been on holiday. South Africa yet to get into gear in this game.
It's beautiful to see because the pressing starts from the front. I mean, this is Modiba here, who is the left back of South Africa, and that's Moses Simon, who is our right wing forward, which means the defense starts from up front. If Moses Simon can stop Modiba in his tracks from their own half, it shows how defensively solid we are as a unit, not just the defensive lineup. So that's kudos to coaching, kudos to Jose Pesero, because now we are on the counter attack.
Well, Simon goes back to Onyeka. Onyeka to Osayi Samuel. Osimhen trying to release Osimhen down the right. It's cleared away by Mvala, throwing for the Super Eagles.
And I remember when I watched the pre-match press conference for both sides actually yesterday, the Nigerian coach, Jose Pesero, and the players were very, very clear about the fact that they have watched and analyzed the clips of this South African side. They know that they love to defend compactly. They love to attack in their numbers as well. And when they do, they leave spaces in behind. I think that's one of the reasons why the Nigerians are very, very quick, especially in terms of their counter-attacking moves today. They want to get the ball high up the pitch very quickly, get the runners in with a chance, and also look to take advantage of the lapses that the South Africans are going to leave behind. So, I mean, that's going to be a very interesting subplot as this game progresses.
I really don't know who anointed Frank Onyeka in this tournament. He has been stupendous.
But people are still not giving him he's still not giving much credit as he deserves.
That's because little or no attention is paid to central midfielders generally. If you are not getting the assists, if you are not getting the goals, if you are not getting the headlines, nobody talks about you. Only few cases like the likes of N'Golo Kante, Makelele, ACN, who went out of their tracks to be
Onyeka is just like Busquets. People say they do not see what they are doing.
Exactly. Busquets was one of the best holding midfielder in his time. I mean, look at what Frank Onyeka is doing in this game. He has been wonderful even since the group stages, and I think it's one of the things Iwobi has been enjoying, or because Iwobi's backside has been exposed throughout this game, but Onyeka has been cleaning up his mess.
And he will be in possession right now for the Super Eagles. He finds Osayi Samuel. Osayi Samuel back to Iwobi. Iwobi to Kabin Bassey. Kabin Bassey finds Olaino. Olaino has Mudao to beat. Iwobi in possession. Whips in across. Bright Osayi Samuel could not control. So throw in for South Africa.
And talking about the South African coach, Hugo Bruce is a coach with vast experience. In fact, when Cameroon won the 2017 edition of the Africa Cup of Nations, he was the tactician then. In fact, he was a coach in 2019 when Egypt were host of the AFCON. Yeah. And he's now the coach as well. So he has a lot of experience. He was also the coach of Club Brugge in the Belgian league. He's a very, very good coach, especially in terms of club and national team football. So he understands that. In fact, in 2019, it was this same South African side who eliminated his Egypt side in the round of 16 of that tournament before they went on to lose to Nigeria 2-1 in the quarterfinals, the last time both sides faced at the Africa Cup of Nations. So, I mean, in terms of the rivalry between both countries and, of course, the coaching factor, definitely we are in for a very, very interesting game between these two today.
I tell you, the South African coaching crew is made up of winners. Hugo Bruce, the winner of the Nations Cup in 2017 with Cameroon, and then former South Africa international Helman Makelele, who was part of those that won the Nations Cup for South Africa in 1996. A pair of winners.
Yeah, while I agree with my learned colleague when he's, with all of the historical, ironical connections between both teams, I slightly disagree when we mention rivalry. We really don't have a rivalry with South Africa. In AFCON, it's 3-3.
Well,
All times we've played them 3 straight wins.
It's
Group
there.
stage, quarterfinal and semi-final. Even on their home turf, we won the last time we won it was on their home turf in 2013 when they hosted. So I don't see the rivalry. We've played 14 times overall head-to-head in terms of competitive games. We've won more than they have. Although in recent times, like you said, in the last 6 wins,
in the last six games,
we've only won once.
Yeah, we've
drawn
lost
4
once
times,
and drawn four
lost
times.
once again. So yes, but generally, I don't see any rivalry between the Super Eagles and South Africa, especially in this kind of stage in AFCON.
Guys, this is a 40,000 capacity stadium. Nigeria, South Africa, yet the stadium is not a sellout.
Well, that's one of the things I wanted to point out, but it skipped my mind just as we're ruminating and talking about other important points. This is the semi-finals of the Africa Cup of Nations, and the stadium is, we can practically unpeak or count the number of fans in the stadium. Well, I'm not surprised because it seems like the host nation are now getting the traction that they deserve because, ever since Ivory Coast mustered that morale-boosting victories over Senegal and Mali, the fans have been, turning up for their game. So imagine a scenario where Ivory Coast makes it to the final against one of these two sides today. Then you'd expect that it would be a sellout. A lot of people would want to watch the final, but I expected something better because this is the AFCON semi-final, and we should be seeing, especially in terms of the support from the spectators, it should be better than this.
Yeah, I get the point, but we can also add context to it to know that this is Bouaké. This is not Abidjan. And first of all,
so are you saying that there are not people in Bouaké?
There may be, but how many football fans? At the end of the day, you have to apply context to it. It's just like, okay, in Nigeria, for example, we have stadiums in different states, and then a particular semi-final is hosted in which state may not. I'm trying to think now, probably not Akwa Ibom because they will come out, not Rivers State because they will come out. But I'm just trying to say this is not Abidjan. Even I've seen journalists who have posted on social media recounting their experience of how they had to travel for 4 hours from Abidjan to Bouaké because Nigeria played their quarterfinals game in Abidjan. So they traveled like 518 kilometers to make this. Oh no.
Moses Simon not being able to control the ball in the 18. If he had, should have given the Super Eagles the lead. 30 minutes played so far, still goalless. Moses Simon trying to get the better of Modiba. It's not successful. So try for Super Eagles. Trisekong is down on the turf.
So there's actually a reason for it, Sha. I'm not saying people of Bouaké might not be much, but it's not like it's Abidjan, basically.
Goalkeeper Rowan Williams managing to get a finger touch on the ball. Otherwise, a Siemens head should have been sending that ball into the net. And then Moses Simon was not able to control that.
Perfect timing.
Throwing for Super Eagles. I know he's playing wing back. He's coming to the right to take this throw.
That's I know for you. He can do everything on the field of play.
And he takes a long throw into the South Africa 18.
Offside.
I think there was some infringement.
The referee spots some shoving. Jose Pesero with a smile. His boys have somewhat done well. They are not scoring goals, but they are in the semi-final. Both countries have scored the same number of goals. 6 goals.
And kept the names same.
For Nigeria, they spread the 6 goals across all their matches. For South Africa, those 6 goals were scored in 2 matches. They were shut out in 3 matches. And South Africa started the attack from their defense.
I don't think we are better than them on 2 fronts. They've been beaten, we are unbeaten. And they've conceded 2 goals, we've conceded 1. So I just think those are the parameters we surpass them with in this tournament.
Evidence Makopa finds Pesitao.
Nice.
Very weak shot from Sitole. Easy catch for Wambali.
I think that's one of the skill sets the South Africans, the Bafana, the boys, as they love to be called, have in their arsenal because they love to try shots from distance. I remember when Mokoena actually scored that free kick, which was the second goal against Morocco. The South Africans kept on, going at Yasin Bono in the Moroccan goal. I mean, lots of shots from distance in that particular game. That's one of the skill sets that the South Africans possess. They love to try shots from distance, score an early goal, and then pile on the pressure on the opposition. And that's something that Stanley Wabale has proved that time and again is very, very confident at in this particular tournament. I mean, the shots will come in from range, but he definitely would be there to get the balls safely into his arms.
I know it's a long pass, trying to find Osimhen. But Zulu and Kekana deal with that situation, and goalkeeper Williams collect. Well, it seems after 15 minutes, South Africa found their mojo in this game. At least twice now, they've disturbed the Super Eagles defense.
Yeah, but ironically, that's the only shot on target in this game on both sides. Nigeria is yet to have a shot on target. That was South Africa's first shot on target and Nwabali's first save of the game as well.
Iwobi goes to Kabin Bassi. Bassi to Ekong. Ekong to Shemi Ajayi. Ajayi back to Ekong. You can send your messages on WhatsApp to 080-999-30137. 080-999-30137. Osimhen trying to find Bright Said Samuel. The pass is shot. Cleared away by Modiba. And now South Africa from the left. Makopa. Goes to Modiba.
Good cover by Shemilogo Ajayi.
South Africa go to the midfield. Mokwena. Shot. Saved by goalkeeper Wambali.
It's the very fact that we don't panic when they counter attack, because the Super Eagles hold on to their position. In that instance, I think it was Frank Oyeka who wanted to lay in a 1-2 and run forward, but he missed the ball, and Iwobi had to cover up the pass to Iwobi, and it was down to Shemilogo Ajayi. But in that moment, in that phase of play, every other players returned into their shape, and Nigeria kept their defensive form, and that was good. I keep saying it, coaching has been evident in this team since the second game of this tournament.
17 minutes to goalless. Bright to Said Samuel. He finds Moses Simon. Simon closely mapped by Modiba. Throwing for South Africa.
Why is he complaining? He knew what he did.
I think he has a point.
I don't think so.
He practically, our footballers like to...
The instinct. He is the instinct.
Instigate or maybe try to influence the decisions of the officials.
You know that you dribbled yourself out of play.
Obviously. But Moses Simon definitely would want to at least prove his innocence at that point in time. And talking about the South African side, I find out something very fascinating. 7 out of the 11 players on the field for South Africa actually play in the PSL, of course, which is the South African League, for Mamelodi Sundowns. That's 7. In fact, the entire back 4 for the South Africans all play for Mamelodi Sundowns in South Africa, including the goalkeeper as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's really fascinating as well. So, when you have 7 out of 11 players in the same club, in the same league, then there's cohesion, there's chemistry at that point in time. So that's why I think that's one of the reasons why the South African defense has been very, very important. And apart from the coaching and all that, the fact that these players have chemistry and all that is also very, very important to note.
Yeah, and to even double down on what you said, I think there was a statement released by Chippa United when the chairman was waxing lyrical about Nwabali and saying, the shining light. He also touched on what you said, that South Africa themselves have gone far with homegrown players.
Yeah.
He threw a dig at the former coach who usually went to players that are based abroad, even if they were sitting on the bench when they were hot boys on home soil. So I think, yes, South Africa has done that well. So far, so good. But the reverse is the case for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, who most of the players here are European-based, yet coaching has made them defensively solid or have a good shape in this tournament. So it may not be 1 versus 2. It just two truths can coexist. Whether you use homegrown or use European based, as long as you make do with the potential in front of you, you will go far.
20 minutes played so far, still goalless. And the Super Eagles continue that tradition at this Nations Cup. They do not score early. Against Angola, they had to wait till the 41st minute. Against Cote d'Ivoire, it was in the second half they scored. One ball in possession for the Super Eagles. Kevin Bassi. Onyeka. Lukman. Iwobi. Shemi Ajayi, the only player who has played every minute for the Super Eagles so far this Nations Cup. Don't forget, Wambali got injured and was substituted against Cameroon. Osimhen hustles the ball from a South African player. Iwobi. Ekong. Shemi Ajayi. Back to Ekong. Kevin Bassi. Aina loses possession. South Africa trying to break away from the right through Persitao. Wambali comes out to collect. On WhatsApp, this one says, good evening, Nigeria. One South Africa new goal scored by Moses Simon. Babadi from Suleja. This one says, my name is Ike from Saburi. South Africa 1, Nigeria new. You also can send your message on WhatsApp to 08099930137. 08099930137. Frank Oyeka.
Super Frank.
Stopped by Makopa.
I was about to mention his name as well. Super Frank. He's been phenomenal in the midfield of the park. Like a box-to-box midfielder.
Yeah.
You know that kind of thing.
This free kick is from an inviting position. If only we have a player who can call this ball into the net. Just in front of the South African box 18.
We have Lukman, don't we? Lukman? We have Lukman. He takes free kick. I don't know how many he has scored in his career, but he can try this.
Well, I think it's just going to be one man, Moses Simon, because he seems to be the one that takes most of the set pieces, especially for the Nigerian side now. Lukman has also done well for himself, especially in terms of some corner kicks he has taken in this tournament as well. So,
is Lukman or Alaino? Because I think Lukman is better suited to take this dead ball situation.
This one you wish we had a JJ Okocha on the pitch.
Even a Iheanacho might give me much more confidence than these two. Yeah, Iheanacho has shown he can.
Lukman and I not discussing. Talking about Austin Okocha, I called his name and the camera showed him in the stands.
Chairman, sir.
Referee Amin Mohamed Omar discussing with Osimhen and Sitole to take it easy. "23 minutes is still goalless between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Bafana of South Africa. Lukman, if he buries his ball into the net, it will be his fourth goal of this Nations Cup. Whips in a cross. Shemi Ajayi heads the ball straight to goalkeeper Williams.
I was hoping he would have headed that back to Victor Osimhen, who was free on goal. He was actually free on goal.
The referee once again having a word with Osimhen. When goalkeeper Williams was kicking the ball, Osimhen gives attempts to try to stop his kick. That's why the referee went to him. Onyeka beating. Can South Africa punish the Super Eagles here? Nice. Sliding tackle by Shemi Ajayi in the 18. Across from Odiba, headed away by 2 seconds.
That was like the interception of the tournament. If there's anything like that.
Mudao. Mukwena. Makopa stopped. Olaina goes down. Free kick for the Super Eagles. 25 minutes, Nigeria nil, South Africa nil.
I like the combination between Olaino and Calvin Bassey. I think they understand themselves better. With that switch of Olaino from right side to left side, I felt he might find time to adapt, but he knows when to go around Calvin Bassey. He knows when to allow Calvin Bassey to do the job while he mops up, and that has been good so far on that left-hand side. And I think South Africa have been finding it difficult to go through either side, with the left or the right. And more often than not, we are always forcing them to come in through the middle of the park and still have nowhere to go.
And now, South Africa breaking away from the right. Mudao trying to send a pass to Zwane. The great block by the Super Eagles.
But I think now is when the Nigerians really need to take things very, very easy. The South African players have surrounded the referee. I guess they have. They saw something wrong at that particular instance, but that was a very, very brilliant interception from.
Onyeka.
Was that Onyeka?
Yes, and the incident South Africans are calling for. Mudao's cross hit Bassey's hand.
His hand was behind him anyway.
Yeah.
Even if he felt like he tried to improve his height with his elbow, but his hand was behind him. He was sensible about it, and I don't think there's anything in that. There's nothing in that.
Nothing in that.
He was sensible about it. It's like playing around the trick, around the room.
Obviously.
Because he tried to make his hand larger, but his hand was still behind his back. That was intelligent of him.
27 minutes, Nigeria nil, South Africa nil. Nigeria and South Africa have also met in the semi-final before. That was at the 2000 edition of the Nations Cup, co-hosted by Nigeria and Ghana. Nigeria were 2-0 victors that day. Tijani Babangida with both goals.
Yeah. I think I was still watching a clip of that game just a couple of days ago. The first goal was a very, very brilliant strike. I think that's something that Tijani Babangida is very well known for.
So, Fesitao was not offside, and this is the best he could come up with. This is a lovely chance to have scored.
Well, I think the South Africans are gradually gaining a foothold on the game, and I think that's very, very bad for the Nigerians because for all that we've done in the opening minutes of this game so far, South Africa are gradually coming to terms with the game, and I think the longer this goes for Nigeria, the more problematic it becomes because he adds a lot of pressure. Imagine the South Africans getting a goal now. It obviously changes a whole lot because they would be more defensive, they will be more solid. This is the AFCON semi-final. You need no better motivation than this. I think the players definitely need to do that. In fact, the passes in the last few minutes have been very, very bad. I mean, lots of passes have gone astray. And I think that's something they need to work on. I mean, pass the ball. I mean, just don't try to do something really, really risky, especially in terms of your chances of getting a goal.
Lookman dispossessed. Their coach Hugo Bruce specifically mentioned Lookman. Says Nigeria have a great team, and the only name he called was Lookman.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, because I think, judging by what Lookman has done in this tournament, not very many people gave him or looked at him as that source of goals for Nigeria. In fact,
but there was expectation on him anyway.
There were expectations, but let's not also forget that this is his first taste of tournament football for Nigeria. So the whole talk of, can he adapt? He's coming from a totally different, style or ethos of football, and then coming in. But I think he's done very well for him. Yes, there are expectations, but not to this level. But he has done really well for himself, scoring the winner in the last two games that Nigeria have played in this tournament, and they were clutch goals as well.
Nigeria's last 3 goals.
Absolutely as well. In the knockout phase, single-handedly downing the indomitable Lions and also taking apart the Antelopes. This is a man who has slaughtered a lion and an antelope. So I think he's a man really, really on top of his form.
South Africa lose position in the midfield. Osimhen
wanted to do a Patrick Schick.
attempting to score
from
the center circle.
and
the shot
the keeper
was
out
blocked.
of his line, was he?
It could be.
Header away by Tristekong. Zwane, Makopa, Mudau.
Nice.
Franco Yeka stopping Mokwena, throwing for South Africa. .30 minutes still goalless.
Yeah.
Between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and South Africa.
Wasn't that a handball?
Nigeria having just 3 goal scorers at the Nations Cup so far. Lukman, who has scored 3 goals, Osimhen, who has scored 1 goal, Trisekong, who has scored 1 goal. They are first in a single edition since 2008 Nations Cup. Where just 2 players scored the goals for Nigeria, Yakuba Egbeni and John Obi Mikel. For South Africa, this is their 4th semi-final at AFCON and their first since 2000. Yeah, they lost to Nigeria 2-0. With schooling break, players taking water and Pesero dishing out instructions.
Well, I think in the very first minutes of this game, I think we've seen 31 minutes of action in this game. I think the South Africans definitely will be the happier of the two sides because aside from Kotele, the attacking force of the Nigerian side, they've defended very, very well. And they've also had the 2 best chances of the game as well because they've tested the goalkeeper from range, especially in the first few minutes of the game, and also from that chance from Peseta, which of course, given he's left-footed, he should have done better. I'm sure Hugo Bruce will be very satisfied, so to say, with his team's performance so far because they've kept the Nigerians at bay. And also looking at it from the other angle, Nigeria themselves have not been a team that scores in the opening minutes of the game, especially before the first cooling break in the first half and all that. They are very, very patient. They love to wait for their chances, and when the chance comes, they take the chance. Well, and that obviously proves pivotal for them. So, I mean, a lot of things can change in a few minutes of football. Yes, the cooling break is over. Players are back on the pitch now and about to restart the game as well. So, like we've said for the Nigerians, they need to be patient, pass the ball, don't be optimistic or overly, trying to just get the passes. I mean, regardless of what happens, so we do it. I mean, in a very, very coordinated, composed manner, rather than just being too risky with the passes. Because when you lose possession, this South African side can break, and they can break really quickly.
Statistics as at 32 minutes, more possession. 41.9% for Nigeria, 58.1% for South Africa. Duels success rate 40% for Nigeria, 60% for South Africa. Area duels won 20% for Nigeria, 80% for South Africa. Interceptions 4 for Nigeria, 5 for South Africa. Offsides none for Nigeria, 1 for South Africa. Corner kicks none for either side. Guys, 32 minutes, no corner kick yet. What does that mean?
It means that both teams have successfully hindered their opposition from going through the flanks. Basically, both teams are forcing themselves to come through the middle. And when you do that, you hardly take shots on targets that will lead to corner kicks. That's why most of the shots on targets have led to goalkeeping saves. Or even if the goalkeeper punches it, it goes back into play and play continues. And they convert from defense to counter-attack. But if you've been going through the flanks, Ademola Lookman has tried. He has not really done well. He has not progressed with his take-ons. Same with Moses Simon and also the South African wingers as well. Now they have a corner kick, the first of this tie, because the attack that they just went through came through the flanks.
Pesitao delivering the corner. Zitole not heading the ball properly. Goal kick for the Super Eagles. 34 minutes, Nigeria nil, South Africa nil. You can send a message on WhatsApp to 080-999-30137. 080-999-30137. Prior to this game, South Africa have had 6 shots following a high turnover at 2023 Nations Cup. Only Egypt have had more 7, while in Morocco it's 9. Have had more direct attacks than South Africa's 8 at this Nations Cup. Osimhen has only scored 1 goal despite attempting the most shots, 19 at this Nations Cup. A shot conversion rate of 5.3% with an expected goal tally of 3.9. He's underperforming his SG by a bigger margin than any other player, minus 2.9.
That was good calculation from Stanley Wabali. He knew that he had to give the defender the benefit of the doubt before noticing that the ball was ahead of the South African player and coming out to catch. That was good thinking, good anticipation, and a clean save for Stanley Wabali. I'm not hyping him, is what I'm saying.
Pesita overhitting the ball there.
I think that's also something to note from the South Africans, especially since the cooling break. They are now going long. I think they're sensing that the Nigerians are committing players forward, and they have this maybe proposed lack of pace in behind. I think that's one of the things likes of Evidence Mahopa and of course Percy Tau will be looking to exploit as the game progresses. The South Africans are trying to launch the ball from deep, and I think this is something that has been a regular occurrence, especially under Jose Pizarro. I remember when Guinea-Bissau came here to Abuja, they scored from one of those chances, especially a long ball from deep into the striker in acres of space, and of course he was able to lift the ball over the goalkeeper. But I think Nigerians definitely know that is a point that the South Africans are looking to exploit, and that they need to be very, very much coordinated, especially in their turnovers.
Moses Simon and Lukman, they change position, and now Simon on the left, Lukman on the right. Bishop from Disa Alaji on WhatsApp says, all we are saying, Super Eagles, give us just one goal.
I remember that song. All we are saying, give us one goal.
Cashflow from City Street says Super Eagles need to stay active and be awake in this game to the end. They can't afford to be lazy or go to sleep, else it may cost them this game. The South Africans are gradually growing in the game. He will be, he can shoot. Shot saved by Williams.
But that was straight at the goalkeeper though.
36 minutes, still goalless between Nigeria and South Africa. Nigeria.
That was actually a very tame effort from Iwobi.
Yeah, it was straight at the goalkeeper.
He's not known for his shooting stats, so perhaps maybe he should have looked for a teammate at that point in time, because when
Osimhen was available.
Osimhen was available at that point in time, so maybe a cross would have sufficed at that particular instance. But that's Iwobi for you. He loves to try his luck from range, but I think if you are going to try your luck from range, especially at that end of the field, especially with the proximity to the goalkeeper, you definitely have to walk the goalkeeper, and he just did not do that at that instance.
Speaking of trying your luck from range, was it in 2000 where we played? Who did we play before facing Cameroon in the final?
South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah, Tijani Babangida scored the first goal for Nigeria from range. He was a very, very mesmeric strike.
I don't think it's South Africa. There was a goal JJ Okocha scored.
It's against Cameroon in the final.
In the final,
Okay.
I was trying to remember the opponent. It was from range.
Yeah.
Left-footed.
Yeah.
Ferocious.
Ferocious shot.
Now I'm thinking he's in the stands and he's seeing his nephew or who playing that way and saying, "Come on, didn't you watch my video in 2000?"
A lot of people feel.
I mean,
I myself,
shoot
I don't
like
see,
you mean it.
I don't see a similitude between himself and JJ Okocha, especially.
I mean,
there is no sort of similitude between both players. They are totally different players. So for all the trickery, for all the artistry that JJ Okocha brought into his performances,
the spontaneity. Oh yeah.
Another chance for South Africa. Makopa should be hitting that harder than he hits the ball. Not stressing Wambali so much who had to punch.
Again, as you can see, Prince Will, it was a long ball from deep as well. It was a great takedown for Percy Tau just to knock it down for Evidence Mahopa. And Evidence Mahopa should be eating that one. But again,
he did.
Very, very
He didn't hit it well.
See, let's not take anything from the save.
It better.
I know, but let's not take anything from the save. That was away from the goalkeeper. Stanley Wabali had to stretch. It wasn't straight at the goalkeeper. So in other cases, if the goalkeeper didn't stretch on time or if his fingertips were that long, that's straight to the back of the net. It was on target. So I'm giving more credit to the goalkeeper because the striker did what he had to do in that occasion with the number of players around him.
Well, of course, that's the Nigerian you talking Binga.
Anyway,
but of course,
that's a save.
Evidence Mahopa should be doing better.
For South Africa, Wambali punches. Cleared away by,
It will also interest you to know, especially in terms of this goalkeeping rivalry between these two nations in the South African PSL as it stands. Mamelodi Sundowns' Ronwe Williams has the highest number of clean sheets.
He does.
And
Absolutely.
it would interest you to know that Nigeria's Stanley Wabali is second on that list, especially. In fact, in the build-up to this game, Ronwe Williams was speaking yesterday about the rivalry. He said the fact that they met in Port Elizabeth, Stanley Wabali was very, very elusive in his praise of him. He idolizes him practically. He sees him as a mentor, as so to say, especially for Stanley Wabali in his own perspective and all that. But I think the rivalry as well shows you that this is not just a game between the attackers, the midfielders, but of course a rivalry between the strikers as well.
40 minutes and South Africa are going one way now. Play it long from the back. Hoping Percy Tau, Evidence Makopa, Swani can get behind the Super Eagles defense and score. Through second. Aina We're talking about South Africa. The coach has relied on a lot of players who play for Mamelodi Sundown. 8 players from Mamelodi Sundown that won last year's inaugural African Football League and also reached the Champions League semi-final, started their quarter-final against Cape Verde. And for former South Africa captain Aaron Mokoena, he says Hugo Broos has taken Mamelodi Sundown players because he understands those players have experience against different opponents from across the continent, and he realized the synergy and teamwork are important.
Yeah, to even double down on that, the player I'm about to mention now, Roland Williams, who just collected that ball as he has been doing since the start of this game, is not in this tournament. He started saving penalties. In that African Football League, he saved 2 penalties in regulation time, not penalty shootout, in regulation time, and he was good at it. So I think Mamelodi Sundowns faced Enyimba at some point. I don't know if both of them played, because Enyimba also played in the African Football League. So both goalkeepers have been good before this tournament, talking about the 2023-2024 season in their respective clubs. Maybe more kudos should go to South African League for this.
41 minutes, still goalless between Nigeria and South Africa. 23 of the 26 players brought by South Africa to this Nations Cup plied their trade in the South African League.
Yeah, and 9 of the 11 started today also play in the South African League. Aside the 7 who play for one club, Mamelodi Sundowns. Evidence Mahopa plays for Orlando Pirates. I think there's also one other guy. I think it's Zulu in the midfield for. I think he plays for Super Sports United. If I'm right at that particular instance, only 2 players in this South African starting 11 apply their trade outside the South African League. Of course, Pesitao and I think Sitole. Sitole also plays. I think one of the players also play in Tondela. So, 9 players in the same league, 23 out of 26, just like Prince Will said, in the same league as well. So, there's a lot of cohesion between, and just like you have said, Wenger, you have that experience of playing across Africa, I guess, especially across when it comes to playing against champions from other African countries.
Yeah, but let's not also forget that it is not every time it works. Qatar, when they hosted the World Cup in 2022, had more than half of their players playing domestically, playing together. They didn't win a single game in the World Cup. So, again, it might not be 1+1.
Poor cross from Oyeka. A better cross would have found Osimhen in the 18. I know. We've seen it. Pass.
To the crossbar.
Yeah, I think it deflected off the defender.
Took a touch off Mudau on its way. 43 minutes, Nigeria 0, South Africa 0. Nigerians will be hoping this game does not get into penalty shootout, because the goalkeeper and the Super Eagles we face is the first goalkeeper in AFCON history to save 4 penalties in a shootout.
More reasons why Victor Osimhen doesn't score goals. His players around him don't perform at his wavelength. A lot of times he has given Moses Simon and Bright Osai Samuel a quick 1-2 pass and run into spaces, and they don't find him out. They keep wasting the second pass.
Well, now
he just did it again and ran into space. Just give him back the ball and let him do his thing. You now pass it to the defender. He has done it several times in this game, running into spaces, and we keep saying he doesn't score goals.
Well,
but
now
he's trying to create the opportunity.
He had been found with a corner kick and his header went off target.
Well, let him keep trying. But the point is, they are wasting his runs. They are wasting his runs.
Parents from Kakana. True second. Frank Oyeka back to True Kong. Shemi Ajayi. And the man Lukman's pass for Osimhen blocked by Sitole. Modiba could get in trouble here. Lukman pressuring him. So throwing for South Africa. Jose Pesero. "45 minutes still goalless between Nigeria and South Africa." Nigeria have the highest expected goals, 8.59 tally, and the most big chances, 18, at the 2023 AFCON, with all 6 of their goals coming inside the box. Only Cote d'Ivoire, with 46, have had more shots from inside the box than the Super Eagles, 44. Kekana.
I remember saying while we were building up to this game in other shows that both teams are defensively solid. If they don't sort out their finishing issues, we would inadvertently see extra time and possibly see penalty shootouts. And it's looking like that now. We are not yet. First half is not yet over. Anything can happen in the second 45. No, there are not 2 equal halves to a football game, like my Lelen colleague used to say. But the point is, the way I'm seeing both teams, they are not ready to take risks. They are not ready to do more than they can and just keep it safe. So where would the goals come from?
Mudao goes down on that challenge from Kabin Bassi. There's no free kick. A cross from Mokwena goes outside. Goal kick for Nigeria. 47 minutes, still goalless between Nigeria and South Africa.
I think in terms of the defensive display from the Super Eagles of Nigeria, yes, we can. For me, I think I've not been overly impressed because in terms of that right-hand flank that Osai Samuel has been into, the South Africans have utilized that space. I guess maybe they've sensed that since Zaido Sanusi is not there, since Olaino has been moved over to the other flank, they can exploit the weaknesses of Osai Samuel, because I think he's really, really struggled, especially at curtailing the runs of Evidence Mahopa and, of course, Pesita across that right hand flank for Nigeria. But, of course, it's a work in progress. Both sides go into the halftime break now goalless, and I think there is a lot to ponder upon for the Nigerians. And just like I said, Coach Hugo Bruce's South African side would be the happier of the 2 sides, because I think they've played well. They had a shaky start at the start of this game, but they overcame that and they settled into the game quickly, and they've done themselves a lot of good. So, I mean, it's goalless at the Stade de la Paix in Bouaké, and of course, we expect something better from the Super Eagles of Nigeria in the second half.
Halftime, referee Amin Mohamed Omar has blown for halftime, and it's finished goalless at the Stade de la Paix in Bouaké, Cote d'Ivoire. Send your messages on WhatsApp to 080-999-30137. 080-999-30137. Statistics at that time: ball possession 40.9% for Nigeria, 59.1% for South Africa. Duel success rate 36.7% for Nigeria, 63.3% for South Africa. Area duels won 33.3% for Nigeria, 66.7% for South Africa. Interceptions 4 for Nigeria, 7 for South Africa. Offsides none for Nigeria, 1 for South Africa. Corner kicks 1 for Nigeria, 2 for South Africa.
Moving
حياتنا بنكهة طول حياتنا ربنا واحد كلنا واحد أبيض ولا أسمر نفس الدم الواحد أفريقيا أمي أمي أفريقيا لوني لوني أفريقيا بلادي بلادي أفريقيا
Still number one Let's Talk station 95.1 Nigeria Info. Halftime at the Stade de la Paix in Braque, Cote d'Ivoire is Nigeria nil, South Africa nil. You can call on 0700-951-0000, 0700-951-0000. That's the phone number. The WhatsApp number you can also call is 080-999-30137, 080-999-30137. WhatsApp agent of Eric Ten Hag from Cuba says Nigeria should be calm when coming for the second half. Hello, good afternoon. And good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, please. Good evening.
Good evening. Your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Steven Mayo from Asoko.
Nice to have you. Let's talk.
Yeah. Yes. I won't say the team is doing too badly, but at the same time, we are not doing too well. Yes, because I can see the level of press, the way we press the South Africans is not up to, right? We are giving them too much time on the ball, especially in the midfield. Right? That's why they are able to create some good chances for themselves. So I think Pizarro will find a way, to get hold of that midfield, right? If not, but I don't want to think about it, right? I'm just wishing the team all the best. But I think that's what they're going to do. Get hold of that midfield, and then we'll be good to go. Thank you, Press.
Thank you. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Juka. I'm calling from Baby.
Nice to have you. Let's talk.
Well, the girls, our boys are not doing bad, but the only things I think that I think it should be advised to let our players play deep into their area and be pushed back into our area. But that is why you see the defense having pressure. You can see about 2 or 3 will be with the last man of our defense, and that is very, very dangerous. If you continue like that, one of these things will skip out and carry the ball into the net. So we should be very, very careful. People like they will see that they should stay close to their last person at the back. So by so doing, they will find it difficult to come out. So, but now we are giving them a chance to come out because our midfield and the defense are going to inside to our own territory, to our 18 side. So which is very dangerous. But we try to correct this, but we concede goal. If they continue to give us better idea, we concede goal. To God forbid.
All right, thank you. And then this one says, good evening. My name is Donald from Lubia. Our midfield is so open. We need someone that can control the midfield. South Africans are playing us, especially Pesitao and Mokwena. I now need some backup from someone. This says, good evening. I'm not impressed with this first half display from Super Eagles. No pressing from the front line. Line in South Africa with much spaces. They need to improve in the second half. And I wish the Super Eagles success. Otawa Dishegzi from Asokoro. This one says, I believe Nigeria will win this match no matter South Africa's style of play. Though I'm looking forward to seeing Nacho play along with Sima in this game. Bishop Toothpick from Kubwa. And this one says, please, is Lukman in this game? He's not impressed with Lukman's performance so far. And this one says, my name is St. Promise. We need Nacho in this team. This one says, Nigeria must play from the middle and use long ball now. We need young midfielders now. Nigeria will win 1-0. Elvis told you in pro. Guys, you need to go for a break. Keep sending your messages on WhatsApp to 080-999-30137. 080-999-30137.
Hey guys, this is Ini. Audio Jungle.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This 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 is Nigeria Info.
The way, let's show them the way.
And we're back at Stade de la Paix in Bouaké for second half proceedings. We're still goalless between Nigeria and South Africa. Brighton Saïd Samuel finds Moses Simon.
I was expecting me to make a better decision.
I know whips in the cross. Headed away by Zulu. 46 minutes goalless. You can send your messages on WhatsApp to 080-999-30137. 080-999-30137. On WhatsApp, this one says, please, the Super Eagles should make us proud. Akuba from Wusetu. And this one says, when a goal lands in the South African goal post, they will leave play for Nigeria to dictate. OJ in Galadimawa. Big Sam from Chicago says, I want Nigeria to be holding more of the ball and give accurate passes. Our wingers need to be very aggressive in the final third. Let's not forget we are playing against almost 100% South Africa home-based players. So I says, good evening and well done work. The match might end up drawing the first half, but yet I still wish Nigeria good luck, even though it's one goal. We used to win the match. We are okay. Ella from Gwagwalada. 080-999-30137. That's the WhatsApp number to send your message to. Lukman has Mudau to beat. He finds Iwobi. Iwobi trying to thread the pass to Lukman. Blocked by Mudau. Mokwena.
It's becoming much more feisty here.
Now Nigeria trying to break down the right. Moses Simon. Stopped by Mvala. Great stop by Chusekong. A pass intended for Pesitao. Stopped by Chusekong. I know for Nigeria. Finds Lukman. Lukman goes to Iwobi. Obi to Ekong. Ekong to Shemi Ajayi. Ajayi trying to release back to Sai Samuel. The pass was hit too hard and goes out for a goal kick for South Africa.
Well, for a while now, I've been really, really quiet because I was trying to see if there will be any tactical switch, especially in the halftime talk from Jose Peseiro, but I'm yet to see any. I noted something in the first half, my first half analysis, and that's the fact that this Nigerian side, if they are to have anything or being with a chance of breaking down this very compact South African side, they need to change the tactical outlook of this team. And one of the ways to do that is perhaps take off Bright Osai Samuel and take Olaino back to the right back. Calvin Bassey plays on the left, and then bring on a centre back, an extra centre back. So it's
Kenneth
a back
Umeru
three. Kenneth Umeru is also he has experience, although he might not have the required
Match
pace and all
fitness,
and the pace, which is obviously very important, especially where you are tracking the runs of Mahopa and of course Pesita. Although that's something that, because Jose Peseiro has been very, very rigid in his changes, in his substitution in this tournament, so you can practically predict the players who are going to come off the bench. If it's not Kenneth Umeru, it's going to be Paul Onuachu. If it's not Onuachu, maybe it's Joe Aribo, or even Ralph Oyindika for one of the midfielders. So those are the substitutes who come out for Nigeria in this tournament. So that's something that Nigeria can change if they are to be in with a chance of getting anything from this game.
Moses Simon is in the 18, trying to whip in across, stopped by Zulu. Corner kick for Nigeria.
And that's, of course, one of the runs that this Nigerian side needs to be making. Yes, I think the South Africans have done a number, especially at stopping the Nigerians at their very, very deadly points. They have highlighted the key men for Nigeria, Moses Simon, Ademola Lookman, of course, Victor Osimhen. They've stopped them. In fact, they've ensured that they do not get the required service as they would have loved to get as far as this game is concerned. But I mean, as far as the game progresses, it's left to the Nigerians to see how they can make something out of this and create something that can actually end up in a goal for them.
Lookman's corner kick goes outside the box 18. South Africa attacking down the left. Goalkeeper Wambali having to come out of his 18 to clear.
And he tried to do something little so the ball doesn't go out of play.
That is a very, very confident goalkeeper. Because a lot of
He's
goalkeepers are very, very jittery when they come off their line too.
Yeah.
Because we love to say in Nigerian parlance, if he didn't day, he didn't day.
You can't give what you don't have.
Cannot just give what you don't have. This is a goalkeeper who is playing with a lot of confidence, a lot of composure. And for those who are not watching the match, it was a long ball to Pesita. Pesita was not offside. In fact, it was. He had already given him
none of those defenders catch up with him.
Himself and the defender retreating a lot of pace. But that was the goalkeeper off his line, and he actually cleared that ball to safety. Of course, ensuring that Nigeria regains possession from his clearance.
Sweeper keeper Aye.
Osimhen wins the corner kick for Nigeria. 52 minutes. Nigeria nil, South Africa nil.
And I think we are getting more of the corner kicks. Hopefully we utilize them to our potential.
Can the Super Eagles break the duck with this corner kick? Moses Simon being guided at one of the bar by Mudau. Lookman to whip in the corner kick.
And that's something that Nigerians can look to exploit because, from those set piece situations, and the South African are not, as aerially dominant as the Nigerians are. Of course, the stats says otherwise, but that stats for you. The Nigerians can actually use this to their own advantage if the delivery is spot on.
Headed away by Zulu. It falls for Iwobi. Iwobi having to clear away. Otherwise, South Africa would have been running through to go.
Because his first touch was abysmal. What sort of first touch?
It's not only his first touch has been abysmal. His performance in this game has been absolutely abysmal.
South Africa make their way to the 18. Better liner collecting the ball.
This is the second time he's doing that in the box 18 cleanly, without forcing a penalty, without even giving anybody any benefit of the doubt to check VAR. He's done that with so much finesse.
South Africa's coach Hugo Bruce mentioned only one player, Lookman, and so far they are having a good check on Lookman in this game. 53 minutes. Nigeria nil, South Africa nil. Other square says South Africa is exploiting the weakness in Nigeria midfield. Iwobi is not physical. Now, guys, people keep complaining that our midfield today is not up to par.
Yeah.
Does it need to take out Iwobi and bring maybe another sign?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alassane Yusuf is a better fit here now. We need control. We need compact, compartment and solidity in the middle of the park. And Alassane Yusuf can complement Onyeka.
Absolutely.
Because Onyeka is tackling, yes, but he's also losing the ball because he has to double it for Iwobi, who is ghosting right now. So I think Alassane Yusuf can come in to mitigate that.
And this one says best of luck to Super Eagles Bliss from Kado. 54 minutes. Corner kick for Nigeria.
It should be the 5th right now.
Lukman delivers. Headed away by Makopa. And now returns it to the 18 with a header. Looking at players on the bench in terms of attack that Pesero could call on. Kelechi Iheanacho, Chukwueze, Musa.
Oh, that's a handball. I won't take this anymore. Next, you get a caution.
Alassane Yusuf and Chukwueze getting set to come up for Nigeria.
Pesero has the earpiece in his ear. He's listening to Football Frenzy.
Well, for Chukwueze, he scored the first goal against South Africa in the quarterfinal in 2019. Chusekong scored the winner. So both players will be taking part in this game. Who is going to leave for Chukwueze? Moses Simon has not had a bad game.
He has had a bad game.
But
Moses Simon has had a bad game.
I would rather take him out than take out Lukman. I think Lukman still has one or two ingenuity in him.
Osimhen. Right to Sai Samuel. Whips in across. Osimhen's header is over the bar. Oof. Goal kick for South Africa.
I think that's again another very inviting chance for Nigeria. It was a cross begging to be attacked, and eventually when the attack came, it was from Victor Osimhen, but that was absolutely rising. He didn't get the clean connection because I think he had to jostle with the defender and also maintain his balance. Of course, Victor Osimhen is very, very adept at attacking crosses, especially when they come into the box like that. But of course, that's not going to trouble Ronwen Williams in any ways. But again, Nigeria have wasted another telling opportunity from a very, very inviting cross into the box.
Osimhen. He finds Iwobi. His pass right now intercepted by Mudau turning defense to attack. He finds Pesitao. Pesitao cannot control the pass. Throwing for the Super Eagles.
I think that's one of the issues we've had. Turnovers. When we get these turnovers, the South Africans break, and they break at searing pace. At that instance, yes, they didn't make something out of it because, I mean, I guess they were just too eager to get the ball out of the pitch and, of course, look for the runners in behind and all that. But again, that's Alex Iwobi. He has not just been in the same wavelength as the other players in this team today, and he's been very, very guilty of, misplaced passes in this game, which have indirectly, although it's not been costly for Nigeria because they have not considered from any of those spots. I mean, the longer this goes, it could be problematic for Nigeria. I think maybe now is the time. Substitutes are about to come on. Let's hope that. Let's wait and see. Let me not say let's hope. Let's wait and see if Alex Iwobi would be one of the players set to go off.
Pesitao. Zwane. Talking about Zwane, 4 of his 5 goals have served as the last of the game. In the games he scored those his 5 goals for South Africa.
So he's a game winner and a game changer.
And then he has been directly involved in 50% of South Africa's 6 goals at this Nations Cup. 3/6 with 2 goals and 1 assist. And he could become the first South African player to score 3 goals in a single edition of AFCON since Sean Bartlett scored 5 in 2000.
Because that was a tournament hosted by Nigeria and co-hosted by Nigeria and Ghana.
59 minutes, still goalless. Seaman sending Sitole to the ground. And the referee was a free kick to South Africa. Mvala to take the free kick. He goes to Kekana. Mudao finds Pesitao. Pesitao sends a pass into the box. Collected by Wambali. Who frees Onyeka? Onyeka in possession. Finds Moses Simon. Moses Simon to Brighton Sai Samuel. Onyeka to Tristan Kong.
I need to say this. There's an art to passing the ball. In that instance, when Wabali released the ball
to Onyeka,
just one pass would have given us an advantage over South Africa. But lack of technical abilities, will I say, or indecision, we didn't make do with that phase of play. Now we are just rigmaroling, hoping to cross the ball and somebody to nod the ball. And these are the reasons why we complain about their technical abilities sometimes, because passing is one of the basics of football. And if you don't get that right, how do you become extraordinary?
Olaina, Lukman works his way to the 18. Shots from Frank Onyeka. He's off target. Goal kick for South Africa.
I mean, just to go back to that passage of play, you look at the time Lukman got possession of the ball.
4
You can
players.
count, I think, 6 South African defenders in the box, as opposed to 2 Nigerian attackers. You can see from the passage of play now. That just shows you we have limited numbers, and then we have to see something like that. I mean, that's a shot that Frank Onyeka would not definitely want to look at. In fact, it felt like the ball traveled from Boake back to Abidjan. I mean, just to put it in a very, very hilarious manner.
Without official leave.
Because that was a very, very wayward attempt. Not pleasing to the eye as well. But of course, the fact that Ademola Lukman kept possession despite the raft of South African defenders at that particular instance shows you that, yes, if we can get somebody that is adept at moving with the ball, passing the ball around and looking to create those chances, we can break down the South African side, because this is a side that they are not phased, because so far they've done a good work on the Nigerian attackers, and the longer this goes, it could be adding more pressure to Nigeria, because I'm sure you do not want to take this game to penalties, given what we saw from the South African goalkeeper in the last round of this tournament.
Well,
when would this change happen?
The South African coach, Hugo Bruce, I told you, mentioned only one player, Lukman,
Simon.
and so far so good. The South African team have been taking care of Lukman. He has scored on Nigeria's goal in the knockout stage. 2 goals against Cameroon in the round of 16 and a goal against Angola in the quarterfinal. South Africa came prepared for Lukman today. Iwobi is going off.
The 2 players that have been below par, I think
Moses Simon also going off.
Seeing what we are seeing.
And this is
something about Chukwueze.
Yeah.
He's not, except today is going to be different. He's not going to be better than Moses Simon.
If he's more direct with his plays, he may be.
Now,
we've seen Chukwueze in his best, especially at Villarreal.
There are 2 ways to this. The first is the fact that he has a very interesting telepathy with Victor Osimhen, Samuel Chukwueze. They love to combine very well. In fact, it's been since they are under 17 days. But the second is the fact that Samuel Chukwueze has not had a good game for Nigeria in a long while.
And this is his opportunity.
This is his opportunity. He has been given the chance now. I mean, the stage doesn't get the anticipation doesn't come this palatable for Samuel Chukwueze. This South African side are very, very compact. So we need a bit of artistry, which of course Samuel Chukwueze has in his arsenal. That's if he doesn't overdo it, because he tends to be a bit flamboyant, a bit excessive in his dribbling and in decision making or on a good day. So let's just hope that he has the composure to keep things very, very minimal. But one sub I'm actually happy about is Alassane Yusuf. I mean, this is a player who combines combativeness, solidity, and of course composure in his approach. I think that's something that would bode well for Nigeria, because the longer this goes, he's a player who loves to run the channels. He's a box-to-box midfielder. He's very, very strong. And let's just hope that he can get something for Nigeria.
Chukwueze finds Osimhen. Chukwueze coming on for Moses Simon. And Alassane Yusuf coming on for Iwobi.
That's a penalty. That's a penalty. And guess what led to this penalty?
Samuel Chukwueze
telepathy
combining with Victor Osimhen.
This is what substitution can do. This is what reading the game can do. One of the things I've been talking about Pesero in previous games is late changes. Always wasting time before making that change, before seeing the solution and mitigating it and nipping it in the bud. Now he's done that. He's made his changes. Alassane Yusuf was also involved from the middle of the park in the transition. Chukwueze was involved in the telepathy, and Victor Osimhen was involved in the penalty. I mean,
Mvala,
give it up.
with that body contact with Osimhen, telling Osimhen to stand up. There's nothing here.
He crashed into Victor Osimhen at that time. But that's what I'm telling you, because aside from the penalty won by Osimhen, look at the artistry, the dribbling prowess Samuel Chukwueze used in maneuvering his way out of that. And that's something that substitutions bring to football. It gives you a different outlook.
Fresh air.
And I think that's something that we've expected in this game. No surprises. It's going to be William Troost-Ekong. He's a clutch player. Let's just hope that he brings that clutch to bear today. This is a man who scored Nigeria's last goal against South Africa at this very tournament, although he was in the quarterfinals at that instance. But he has a chance now. 2019 in Egypt. He has a chance now to score the first goal in this game. And I tell you, Benga, I tell you, Prince Will, it could be a very, very crucial one.
Well, William Troost-Ekong scored a penalty against Cote d'Ivoire goalkeeper Yaya Fofana in Super Eagles 1-0 victory in their second match in the group stage at this Nations Cup. But coming up against a man who saved 4 penalties against Cape Verde in the quarterfinal. I'm sure the South African fans will be believing that Rowan Williams can do it again.
Wabali's channeling his inner religion.
Versus Rowan Williams, and Osimhen whisper something into Troost-Ekong's ear. Nigerian fans are hoping Williams does not continue
His penalty saving heroics.
Because he's actually good.
66 minutes. Nigeria nil, South Africa nil, but Nigeria can take the lead here if William Troost-Ekong can beat Rowan Williams from the penalty spot.
He knows the pressure on him right now. He's the captain of the side, and the ball is in his court.
Troost-Ekong. He scores.
Goal!
Super Eagles of Nigeria
Brilliant finish.
have taken the lead against the Bafana of South Africa. Nigeria 1, South Africa 0.
Yes.
William Troost-Ekong with the goal. He knows how to score against the South Africans. He scored against them, scoring the winner in 2019, the quarterfinal. Perhaps today, his goal may be the only goal that the Super Eagles will need to beat South Africa and go to the final.
This is stuff of champions, right? They say you don't play derbies, you win derbies. This may not be a derby in the grand scheme of things, but it's the Amapiano derby. That is why we are here. We are here to dance to the tune of goals, and the captain of the side, talking about the skipper, William Troost-Ekong, has just given us that vibe. Look at it, straight down the middle. Probably listen to what...
no, not really said. Down the middle, because it just went under the leg of Williams.
But it was down the middle because Williams was going away to the left-hand side. It was down the middle.
Well, Williams could have saved this ball. Could have.
Should have.
This guy and penalties give it to him, talking about Williams. The ball did not beat him totally.
He did.
What a goalkeeper.
He did. At the end of the day, he did.
I don't know what Prince Will is saying.
He did. He went straight to the left, and the ball went down the middle.
Even if the ball crossed the line, only just the fact that it crossed the line makes it a goal. So we do not care in any instance.
Score the penalty is a good goal.
Whether Rowan Williams has a chance of saving the penalty. When you score a penalty and the ball crosses the line, it is a goal for Nigeria. And it's a very, very good goal, it has to be said, because this game was begging for something very, very interesting. This game was begging for something out of the ordinary. And it came from the penalty spot. And I tell you, that's no ordinary penalty, because for the taker at this particular instance, coming up against the goalkeeper who saved 4.
That was tense.
In fact,
he was tense.
The only penalty he considered in that shootout, he should have saved.
Yeah, he followed
that
it.
Shows you that this is a goalkeeper who is very, very good at saving, knows his onions when it comes to penalty saving. And I think this is something I love about penalties down the middle. You know that the goalkeeper is diving to one end of the field, and it takes a lot of confidence for you to be able to do that when it comes to playing penalties.
Talking about this staying in the middle, if you take your mind back also to the year 2000, that penalty shootout between Nigeria and Cameroon, there was one particular penalty that was played that the goalkeeper remained in the middle and saved it. So sometimes you might think this guy is going to fly away, and he says, no, I'm right here.
But I think in this
In modern era, more often than not you fly
you see a lot
away.
of that.
Yeah, more often than not you fly away.
because they will tell you that go for one end, but it's also
It's
very
reverse
rare.
psychology at the
It's
end
also
of the day.
very rare because if Robert Williams had stayed in the middle, a lot of people were like, why? Why did they do that?
69 minutes, Nigeria 1, South Africa 0. William to second with the only goal in the 67th minute from the penalty spot.
I think, simply put, Prince Will, you do not save goals. If it's going to eat the back of the net, definitely it will eat the back of the net. Let's just hope that this goal gives Nigeria the impetus that they need or they require to eventually go into the last few minutes of this game, because it's a very, very clutch moment to take the lead at that particular instance in the game. It's more or less about game management now, whether to go for the second goal, whether to remain compact defensively, whether to take the chances when they come, or to, curtail the attacking force of the South Africans. So let's just hope that Jose Pizarro and his charges can actually do the needful when it comes to seeing out this game the best possible way, which ends in victory for Nigeria.
Free kick for Nigeria, won by Frank Oyeka of Mvala. Talking about Mvala, he scored the penalty to make it 2-1 for South Africa against Cape Verde before goalkeeper Rowan Williams saved from Cape Verde, and they won that shootout. But today, he gave Nigeria the penalty, committing a foul on Seaman in the 18 from hero to villain. Ademola Lookman to take the free kick for Nigeria. Waves the free kick in, headed away by Zulu. It falls to Alassane Yusuf, who finds Kabin Bassi. Kabin Bassi with a cross. Olaina sends a long one behind the South African defense. Goalkeeper Williams comes out to collect and tries to start the attack down the left flank. Sends a pass to Makopa. Cleared away by Frank Oyeka, throwing for South Africa.
Again, Frank Onyeka, very, very brilliant, especially in his combative style of play. He's been a revelation in this tournament. Revelation in the sense that, not the cliche word as you love to throw around, but in terms of his coordination, in terms of his compactness in this Nigerian team, because this is a team that, a lot of doubts were coming in, especially due to the loss of Wilfred Ndidi, who used to be that man when it comes to defensive stats, and it's especially shielding the back four. But Frank Onyeka has done very, very well. He has come alive in the games that matter for Nigeria. Game against Cameroon, the game against Cote d'Ivoire. He has been very, very brilliant, and he has also done equally well today, especially at stopping the South Africans.
Onyeka whips in across. There's no super good player there to attack the ball. It goes out for a throw-in. 72 minutes. Ball possession for the 3.1% for Nigeria, 56.9% for South Africa. Dual success rate, 37% for Nigeria, 63% for South Africa. Area duels won for the 5.5% for Nigeria, 54.5% for South Africa. Interceptions, 8 for Nigeria, 10 for South Africa. Offsides, none for Nigeria, 1 for South Africa. Corner kicks, 4 for Nigeria, 2 for South Africa. Throwing for the Super Eagles. The pass to Modiba.
Goals, 1 for Nigeria, 0 for South Africa.
The pass from Modiba, I could not control it. Hugo Bruce, who may, except his words can turn things around, we have to wait for next time to equal Adi Renard's record, win the Nations Cup with 2 different countries.
And again, just to go back to that penalty incident, Victor Osimhen again winning the penalty. And I'm sure a lot of Nigerians might have their doubts because he has not been getting the goals. But I tell you,
He has been involved.
He has been very, very important for Nigeria, especially at how they want to break teams down, at those clutch moments as to how
distracting defenders from others to score. Yeah.
This is the player who scored the equalizer in his first game. This is the player who was close to scoring the goal in the second game against Ivory Coast.
Provided
he won the penalty in the second
scored.
The game against Guinea-Bissau, it was the one waiting to tell to push the ball into the back of the net when Opa Sangate scored the own goal.
Yeah.
The game against Cameroon, he set up Ademola Lookman for the opener. He occupied defenders for the second goal, which obviously gave Lookman the space. The game against Angola, he occupied the centre backs, which obviously gave Lookman the assist. And now he has provided the assist for Nigeria. I mean, talk about impact in terms of without the goal scoring touch. Yes, he's a striker. He feeds off goals and all that. But I think he's also been very, very impeccable and remarkable for Nigeria in terms of his returns, especially his other attributes. I've grown to see Osimhen a different player in this
From his
tournament.
15 days, the way he has
especially
grown.
as to how he has actually approached this tournament and how he's been impeccable for Nigeria.
Well, except Ademola Lookman can score 2 goals. Maybe Emilio Nsue, who has left this competition since the round of 16, who will finish as the highest goal scorer with his 5 goals.
Josindala couldn't continue after scoring 4. Abi, how many did he score?
4.
4, yeah.
South Africa in possession.
Probably Osimhen is keeping his hat trick for final. Yeah, it's possible.
Makopa with a shot.
Wow.
Soft target.
Even Wabali didn't see that coming. Nobody saw that coming.
Got past 2 seconds. Fired a shot. A 20th target. 75 minutes. South Africa have 15 minutes to remedy things. Nigeria have 15 minutes to hold on.
It's very rare to see to see Stanley Wabali beating hands down, but I think that's one of the instances.
The entire defense
it was
beaten.
beaten because
That deft touch
Evidence
took his second out of
his
it.
first touch there was very, very masterful.
Yeah.
The first touch took Williams was taken out of the game, and it
mean,
was
he
just
had to
about
look for transport to
being
come
at
back.
the mercy of the striker. He absolutely leathered that shot, and
If that was on target, that's goal. That's a goal.
that's the equalizer for South Africa.
Yeah.
But again, Evidence Mahopa has been brilliant in this tournament in terms of his general outlook. And this is a player who a lot of South Africans were not quite optimistic about because they are used to the likes of Lyle Foster of Burnley, the likes of Lebo Motiba of Strasbourg in France. These are the normal strikers of South Africa on the good day. But I think the fact that the coach has stuck to Evidence Mahopa, who plays his club football for Orlando Pirates, one of the pedigree clubs, not just in South Africa but across the African continent, shows you that this is a player who is very, very adept at his role. He knows how to do that. His touches have been brilliant. In fact, his lankiness reminds me of a young Victor Osimhen in terms of the way he strikes the ball. I mean, that was a very, very ferocious shot. I'm sure Stanley Wabali would be very, very thankful to God that was nowhere having close to his goal or being on target.
South Africa have made 2 substitutions. Zulu taken off, replaced by Lali Mayambela. Also Tembazwane taken off and replaced by Zakele Lepasa. It's cooling break. Players drinking water. Pesero teaching out instruction to all the players why they drink water. Ebuka texting from Lafayette right now says Stanley Wambali is a gift from heaven. This one says 1 goal is enough for Nigeria to move to the final. God bless Nigeria. God bless Nigeria Info.
I mean, the guy is milking.
Big Scott from Kantapi.
He's milking his moments. I don't know who is his agent or who is his PR officer who is teaching him the tactics. He's milking his moments. Probably he knows when the camera is on him, and he's just salvaging the how will I put it, the situation.
Yeah.
So I think Stanley Wabali has come to stay. Except something tragic happens, there's a new sheriff in town.
I think it's been long coming
And
for
I
Nigeria.
hope nothing tragic happens.
It's been long coming for Nigeria because we needed a goalkeeper.
A presence.
Even God knows we needed a goalkeeper. A goalkeeper, not just a goalkeeper who is very, very good at goalkeeping.
And some have
there are a
said-
lot of goalkeepers who are not good at goalkeeping.
Some have said we must always have a goalkeeper with that shape of head. You know, he has the kind of look of Vicente Yama and probably Keshorumu. So we want those reincarnation, please.
Yeah. So the God of soccer decided to, give us a gift from heaven, just like that listener opined in his message.
And much thanks to Eze Pesero. He went to bring him.
78 minutes. Nigeria 1. South Africa new. Free kick for South Africa won by Mudau.
How's that? That was soft. Even Yusuf thought that was soft.
Well, for coach of South Africa, Hugo Bruce, he has fielded an unchanged side since the second game. He had trashed Namibia 4-0. And coming to this game, there was major concern about fatigue, with former South African midfielder the informer pointing out the heavy legs against Cape Verde. in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, and the coach did say that the performance against Cape Verde was the worst of the tournament. In fact, he didn't even give credence to what happened in the first game against Mali where they lost 2-0. He said that game against Cape Verde, they did not play well.
Of course.
And I think they've responded today, but for that penalty from William Troost-Ekong. But, I mean, there's still lots of minutes still to play in this game, and I'm sure that they will be looking to make something telling.
Pasitao takes the free kick. Wambali punches. Super Eagles can counter. It's a poor pass. Internet for Lukman, and Wambali goes down.
And just to go back to that, even as the medics come to tend to the injured Nwabali, I remember the game against Saudi Arabia, the friendly match that we played in Portugal, when there was a cross into the box that I think it was Francis Uzor was the goalkeeper that day, was trying to parry, and then he misjudged the flight of the ball, and the ball went into the back of the net straight from that free kick. I think that's something that's been really problematic. But this is a goalkeeper who knows. I mean,
his timing is impeccable.
Of goalkeeping, that timing is also very important. And not just the timing, the fact that you come out, you are very, very assured that you are going to get something. I mean, get a punch. At the ball and make it travel away from the danger area so that there is no knockdown.
I mean, his punch converted defense to attack.
Absolutely.
Because immediately Nigeria were on the attack, if not for that bad pass.
But Chukwueze,
we should have been on goal.
If you had sent a better pass to Lukman would have gone through. Pesero, drinking water.
This is not the kind of game we want a final 10 minutes for a defense goalkeeper.
And I think the South Africans were also, I mean, waxing lyrical about their goalkeeper, the fact that the game will go on to penalties and all that. I think this is what we've come to expect when Nigeria face South Africa. The game is settled. I mean, judging by what we've seen, this game is not over anyways. Let me not get ahead of myself, but from what we've seen so far, it gets settled in 90 minutes, maybe in 95 or 96 minutes. That's give or take anyways. But I think when it comes to Nigeria, South Africa, rarely do we see extra time, rarely do we see penalties. But I'm sure the South Africans will be looking to take this all the way. And if they had to do that, they definitely would have to beat one man who has proven unbeatable since the second game of this tournament.
Stanley Wambali.
If Nigeria are going to win this game, it will be 4-4 for Nigeria against South Africa at the Nations Cup. 2000 semi-final. Tijani Babangida with both goals as Nigeria won 2-0. And the group stage in 2004 Nations Cup, Nigeria hammered South Africa 4-0.
That was the match that actually brought Osaze or them.
Yobo scored. Okocha scored the penalty, and then Osaze scored 2 goals. Remember, before that game, Coach Christian Chukwu had sent 3 players home.
3 strikers.
So
that was
Osaze began to start matches for Nigeria at that competition, and he scored 2 goals against South Africa. That was their second game after the Super Eagles had lost their first game 1-0 to Morocco. And in 2019 quarterfinal, Chukwueze and William Troost-Ekong with the 2 goals for Nigeria as they defeated South Africa 2-1. Here today, Troost-Ekong again on the score sheet from the penalty spot in the 67th minute. 82 minutes, 8 minutes left, and depending on how many minutes fourth official will add.
But is that a foul? That's really a try for Nigeria.
The referee felt there was a contact there.
Even Osimhen said I didn't touch it.
Yeah.
Wambali in possession. On WhatsApp, Desmond from Washington says, you guys are doing a great job. Loving Alassan's box-to-box play. We need that help for Yinka in the midfield. This one says, I'm really hoping that Nigeria wins this game. The whole streets of Abuja is quiet because of this game. That message from Stanley. And this one says, happiness won't kill me, oh, please, from Kado.
May no kill you, I beg. I think using the words of your body, they say, Ishe umpani your long pani. So make happiness no go kill you, I beg.
Absolutely.
83 minutes. And Super Eagles can attack now. They win the ball in South Africa and have a pass.
Yeah.
To Osime. Down the left. Kekana and Osime. Osime to Yusuf. Yusuf China. And now finds Chukwueze. We said the pass for the 18. Nigeria can make it too.
Oh my God.
Lukman.
Why?
Lukman trying to dribble Williams.
You can't dribble a good goalkeeper.
Just lift the ball into the net.
Just take your shots.
Look, man. Trying to dribble the South African goalkeeper Williams is not successful.
I don't know if you've noticed that ever since we made those two substitutions, I mean, turnovers have reduced at a drastic level. We are not passing the ball back to the South Africans or trying to, of course, lose possession. I mean, very, funny or hilarious manner as the game progresses. But what was that? That was a brilliant pass from, I think it was Samuel Chukwueze, yeah.
Just take it.
Well, I told you, referee Amin Mohamed Omar doesn't really issue much yellow cards. 3 yellow cards in Cote d'Ivoire's 2-0 victory against Guinea-Bissau in the first match of this Nations Cup. 1 yellow card in Tanzania's goalless draw with Congo. And today, he's yet to issue any yellow card as at 85 minutes.
Okay,
Who's
this
there?
is it.
Right to Sadio Samuel! Osimhen! I've gotten his second goal!
Yes!
We are going to the final!
Yes!
South African player said no. Referee will need to check this.
Probably a foul on the build-up, but I don't care.
Nigeria 2, South Africa nil. Osimhen has gotten his second goal at the Nations Cup.
Osimhen needs this goal. No way should this be taken off him. He needs this goal.
We no go grid 2024.
Wow.
South African players telling the referee this goal should not stand. Osimhen celebrating with the players on the bench.
But that's what they are trying to look at. But I don't think that was enough.
Bookman sent a pass to the right to Saïd Samuel. Saïd Samuel sent it across to Osimhen, who was just on the line of the goalpost to tap it in.
No offside if that's another issue.
There is no offside. Everything.
And the foul
right
they are
of the
trying to
goal.
refer to, I don't think that was enough.
I mean, of course, VR will check, for the benefit of the doubt. But again, the Nigerians breaking in number. And I think that's something that the first goal gives you. It gives you an advantage. It gives you, coordination, how to manage the game properly. And
Referee going to check the VAR. Referee Amin Mohamed Omar.
Is this enough?
I think that's Alassane Yusuf.
Remember, Osimhen's goal was cancelled against Angola.
He was right in front of the referee, and the referee saw nothing wrong with that.
But VAR, I said, take a new look.
Yeah, I think he got to the ball first, Alassane Yusuf. But the referee has made his decision. Let's wait and
Was he
see
about
what
to
it
make
is.
another?
Wow. It's not
Osimhen's goal is cancelled again.
Wow. What was that?
Osimhen's goal cancelled again. Cancelled against Angola.
But that was in front of the referee.
Cancelled
at
against
first.
Guinea-Bissau. And here again. This could be a penalty for South Africa.
No.
This is inside the 18.
No.
Alassane Yusuf scores.
No, I don't think so.
It's a penalty. I think he has given a penalty.
For South Africa.
Yeah.
It's occurred inside the box.
I think he has given a penalty to South Africa, yes.
Okay, so that's exactly what they are checking the VAR for. So from a goal scored by Nigeria or cancelled
It's a
to
penalty
a
to
penalty for South Africa. Wow. What a turn of events.
Wow.
Osimhen, his hands on his head. He thought he had extended and increased Nigeria's lead.
Wow.
I tell you, Alassane Yusuf committing a foul on Pesitao in the Nigeria 18. Penalty for South Africa. It was after that foul by Alassane Yusuf that Nigeria started the attack to score the second goal. And referee had to go and watch that incident.
Wow.
Nigeria took the lead from the penalty spot.
That's very, very bad.
Teboho Mokoena to take the penalty for South Africa. Wambali is facing his first penalty at the Nations Cup. Is he as good as the South African goalkeeper Rowan Williams in saving penalty? We'll find out. Alassane Yusuf, since he came on, has been having many tackles on players. And this one occurred inside the box 18 of the Super Eagles. Tebo Mokoena for South Africa. Wambali of Nigeria versus Tebo Mokoena. Can Wambali save and deliver Nigeria on this occasion? Mokoena, he scores his penalty. 89 minutes, Nigeria 1, South Africa 1. And Mokoena goes to do the Mohamed Kudus celebration, sent in front of the fans. And his other teammates join him. Alassane Yusuf is one player that many Nigerians are impressed with his performance in the first game. He hasn't really seen much minutes since that first game where he was substituted by Joe Aribo because of an injury. Alassane Yusuf came off Alex Iwembe the 63rd minute and he committed a foul on Persitao that gave South Africa a penalty that has been scored by Tebo Mokoena. Nigeria 1, South Africa 1. Perhaps Nigeria has now made question Persero substitution of bringing Alassane Yusuf in.
Well, no, not really, because but for that tackle, which of course wasn't a good tackle in every sense of it, Nigeria actually broke and scored. But that's football for you. I mean, the twists and turns that the AFCON has thrown us, this particular edition of the African Cup of Nations, has been very, very, very unimaginable. I mean, we've seen lots of goals scored in the dying embers of games, and of course, we've seen one of that today, Tebo Mokwena's penalty, of course, cancelling out the opener from William Troost to Ekong. But of course, that's what the African Cup of Nations throws at you: the twists, the turns, the intrigues, and the near misses. Of course, that's something that has been really, really. That we've come to terms with as far as the tournament is concerned. Yeah, for the Nigerians is how they can pick themselves up from this setback. Victor Osimhen went from a goal scorer to, a man with no goals. Alassane Yusuf went from a player who intercepted the ball that led to a goal scoring opportunity to the man who committed a foul that led to the penalty for the South Africans. Of course, that was the right decision. I'm not in any way surprised at that, because of course VAR has to do the right thing. It's not about being feeling outdone by, because the rules are the rules. It was a foul committed in the box, it was a penalty, and it was rightly given, and the South Africans are back in the game. So it obviously shows you now that both sides, obviously South Africa have been given this opportunity to get themselves back on level terms, but the Nigerians, it's more or less about their game management now, whether to push on, because the game, it still has to be played. I think we have about 6 minutes added on now before the regular time actually ends. But as far as the game progresses, let's see what the response would be from the Nigerians.
Should this game drag to penalty shootout? Are you confident Nigeria can progress?
Well, it's penalties. Anything can happen. I, for one, am not a fan of penalty shootouts, because you can play next to nothing for 120 minutes and then prevail on penalties. So that's not something that I would really, really fancy the Nigerians going, especially when you have a goalkeeper like Rongwe Williams, a penalty saving specialist at that. So but I think this game will be decided. If it's not decided in other time, in regular time, it's going to be decided in extra time.
Let me take your mind back to 2004 Nations Cup, hosted by Tunisia. The semi-final was between the host Tunisia and Nigeria. And that day, Nigeria took the lead from the penalty spot, just like they did here today, through Austin Okocha. And Tunisia equalized in the 82nd minute with a penalty, just like South Africa have done here today, equalizing with a penalty. And Tunisia won the Super Eagles of Nigeria 5-3 on penalties. Osazel Derige missing his own penalty for Nigeria that day. Still Nigeria 1, South Africa 1, 93 minutes played. Benga was asking, if this game goes to shootout, Nigeria against Robert Williams, the man who saved 4 penalties, are you confident Nigeria can progress?
Well, we've scored one in regulation time, so that should be enough.
We've also
booster.
scored one as well.
I'm talking about Ronwen Williams now, because we know that he has already been tested in a shootout and he came out with flying colors. So,
Wow.
good defense. Good defense.
94 minutes. Nigeria 1, South Africa 1. South Africa make their way to the box 18. A shot blocked by Oyeka. Free kick for South Africa. Won by Sitole.
No, that's not a free kick. That's not a free kick.
Well, guys, we need to go for a break. Keep sending your messages on WhatsApp to 080 999 30137. 080 999 30137. Nigeria having South Africa having a chance in the Super Eagles 18, but it was blocked by their own player. Lepasa blocking the shot of his teammates. We'll be right back.